Got two free agent matchmaking things here.
Mm-hmm.
The first comes from Alden Gonzalez of ESPN.com. The St. Louis Cardinals and Jacob deGrom, 4 years, $150 million. Gonzalez writes, and I quote, "The Cardinals venturing into a new era with Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina gone and Adam Wainwright heading into his final season. They have money to spend, needs to address, and championship ambitions to pursue. deGrom and his devastating stuff would be a perfect fit for what was mostly a pitch-to-contact staff last year." Yeah, he would be a perfect fit as a great starting pitcher if he, in fact, actually pitches. I don't think Bill DeWitt's going to roll out $150 million guaranteed for a truly phenomenal pitcher who is hurt all the time, or most of the time.
Yeah, that one I just go, oh, did you guys notice that they didn't re-sign Alex Reyes?
Right.
For a small, minuscule amount compared to that. Yeah, I mean, heck, if he was healthy, I'd love him. So would every other team in baseball. Cardinals, no chance. I don't even think they would even knock on the door and ask. I could be wrong, but
they'd be more inclined to give a lot of money to Verlander, but I don't think they're going to do that either.
Yeah.
But they'd be inclined to invest in him. I mean, real quick. Listen, so he pitched without interruption pretty much early in his career, but specifically 2017, 18, 19, he made more than 30 starts, right, in each of those seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You get to the pandemic season, and you got to take that into account. He made 12 starts, which actually is pretty good, yeah. 15 starts in 2021 and only 11 starts all of last season. I don't think so.
Yeah, I will be curious to see who goes after him and what they are willing to pay, because we know the upside is just over the top, but it's just so risky. I mean, would somebody be willing to go, well, we might get 10 starts out of him? Might
get lucky.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll give him extra time off. We'll do a 6-man rotation. We'll limit his innings during the regular season. There would be an approach taken that smart teams would implement. Whether that would actually keep him on the mound remains to be seen. But listen, there's no doubt when this guy's healthy, he's incredible. He's won 2 Cy Youngs and has been compared to some of the greatest pitchers in modern times. And it's not hyperbole in terms of the quality of his pitching, but, man, it's a lot of money talking about a guy. You're not sure about his viability. You're not sure if he's going to be able to take the ball enough. But I like the fact that somebody's thinking about it, and it's kind of fun to talk about because this is the hot stove time of year. Okay, there's one more that was suggested, and this was suggested by native St. Louis and Bradford Doolittle, who writes for ESPN.com. He says, Wilson Contreras, Cardinals, 4 years, $76 million. And I'm reading from Bradford Doolittle. Quote, the Redbirds need an everyday backstop to step into the sizable empty shoes of Yadier Molina. And Contreras is easily the best on the market as a player who fits the bill on the field and in the clubhouse. And I appreciate what Bradford Doolittle says. If I wasn't hearing all this kind of this Cardinals whispering campaign with the media regurgitating it. Oh, he's terrible defensively. The Cardinals can't have him behind he's terrible, I'll do the decoder. Bill DeWitt, by the way, I haven't used the Bill DeWitt decoder for a long time. He told me he liked it. He thought it was funny. He thought it was funny. So when I hear the media regurgitate an obvious leak from the Cardinals, this guy, his defense is, I always joke, he can't even catch the baseball, and in fact, Contreras is I would say slightly below average. And he's actually one of the best catchers in baseball in terms of throwing runners out. Statistically, he is.
Yep.
Okay, so when you hear someone in the media, he can't even block a pitch, and if you throw a ball, off the plate a little bit, and he's so ham-handed, he can't possibly frame it because he has no skills at all. It's like, what? I've seen Contreras play a lot. What are you talking about? Let me give you the DeWitt decoder there. What that means is, I ain't paying no $80 or $90 million for a catcher. That's what that means, right?
Yeah,
that's what it means.
Yeah,
100%. That's what it means. That's the decoder.
They aren't going to spend that kind of money. That's very accurate. But man, if they came to me today and said, "He's your catcher," I'd go, "Okay, I'm okay with that." I wouldn't have a problem. Just the upgrade offensively would be light years of better than what we've seen in so long recently. It'd be like, yeah, that's good. It helps the lineup get longer.
One of the things I don't understand, and let me just do this, and it's literally is going to take 20 seconds or so. I've even seen the Cardinals whispering campaign is so effective with our dear media in our town that I actually see things, hear things popping up where people are trying to say that he's not good offensively. Oh, he's overrated. He's not that good. Last season offensively, right?
Yep.
Contreras was 32% above league average offensively. 32%.
That position, that's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. He. In fact, let me do it this way. Among catchers who had 400 plate appearances or more last season, second highest catcher rated offensively. He was 1 point behind the guy we mentioned earlier, who's a phenomenal player, the Baltimore rookie Adley Rutschman.
Yeah.
So if you look at where Contreras was last year, the guy in effect was, because considering he played more, in effect the guy was the best offensive catcher in baseball last season. And then if you do it over multiple seasons, if you go back to 2016 when, oh, by the way, this catcher who can't catch a baseball was behind the plate for the Cubs' first World Series title since 1908. I think they trusted him. I could be wrong. But if you go back to 2016, he is, and for his career, he's about 18% above average. But it's actually better than that because that includes some of his early growing pains as a young catcher. But let's just go look at the last two seasons. And over the last two seasons, 21% above average and a top 5 catcher offensively. So with a nice big 460 or so slugging percentage. He draws walks, he gets on base. Strikeout rate's not awful. But I actually see people writing and saying, well, I don't think he's all that offensively. Yeah, when you compare him to like Aaron Judge or you compare him to Goldsmith, but we're talking about among catchers.
Yes.
Right?
That is exactly right. It's about the position. It really is. He is just so much better at that position.
But the Cardinals are really good at this, man. They're really, really good at this. The whispering campaign. Off the record, I don't want to be quoted, but, we have a certain standard defensively, and, I know everybody wants to put us with him, but I want you to have some major reservations. DeWitt decoder. Boop, 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 boop. We're not paying that kind of money. That's all. That's what it means.
So true.
Sad but true, right?
Yep, very much so.
But I, you're probably getting text messages right now from our listeners, and that's okay. They're entitled to their opinion. That portray him as this awful catcher defensively and not all that good offensively. It's amazing how easy it is to sell these things to people. It's so easy for the Cardinals to get away with stuff, and yet the same people will be the first in line screaming when they don't make a big addition during the offseason. They'll be screaming about how cheap they are or how they're just trying to play to get into the playoffs, and they're not really trying to do what they have to do to make a better team to have a shot at a championship. These are also the people that tell you, like, Wilson Contreras is like one of their worst catchers in the history of the game. And I'm exaggerating, obviously, but yet they'll be shrieking about Bill DeWitt and John Mozeliak.
Yeah,
and they'll be excited if they sign Tucker Barnhart. They'll be doing cartwheels. They'll be having parties. I don't get it. I'm mystified by this. But I have to give the Cardinals immense credit for their ability with the whispering campaigns to influence media and public opinion. It's very, very effective. And that's one of the reasons why they face such little pressure, other than the minority of fans who are really ticked off at him, like Derek Gould said in the chat. Because some fans say, hey, don't you think, Derek, that now they're really going to face a lot of pressure after how this season ended? There's going to be a lot of pressure and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no. He said they've already said they're not going to do anything to change how they go about their business. And they sold 3.32 million tickets last year. There's a vocal minority of fans who raise hell, but by and large, people keep showing up to Busch Stadium, going to Ballpark Village. No, I don't think they're under any pressure. And you know what? I think he's right.
I'd agree with that. I agree 100%. The moves Milwaukee made yesterday makes me believe it's going to be even easier.
Yeah. And their strategy now is like, look, we got to be good enough to get into the playoffs. We got to be good enough. We got to win the division, but the division right now is in a soft rebuild from top to bottom, other than the Cardinals. And so we should be able to win the division. And then, hey, you take your chances. Anything can happen. The fact that the Phillies got to the World Series this year, that's another reason why the Cardinals are unlikely to, erupt and do big, big things.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're going to be like, well, we won more games than they did during the regular season. They just got hot at the right time. And look at all the money they spent. We didn't have to spend that kind of money. It just shows you get into the postseason, anything can happen. Yeah, but you know what? The better chance of something happening when you've invested in legitimate home run bats, especially guys that have done it in the postseason, the way that the Philadelphia Phillies did. They did get hot at the right time, but it wasn't an accident. That's the kind of team they put together. It just took a while to get healthy, and then everybody kind of reaching full form. But the Cardinals have used that as an example to defend how they go about it. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I know.